send you a voice clip on Messenger? Because I don't want to say like not over the air about it, but it's not bad. I just want to see if you can answer it and then answer it on the radio. Can you do that?
So the big part of this is just listen and see what's going on the machine. If it's a regular just BS session like we always have, then jump in and make your presence known. If it's something important going on, kind of listen to see, okay, is there something I can add to this conversation? No, maybe I'll just wait till it's over before I jump in. And then everybody will be, they'll be glad to talk to you. And we won't have any issues. So we're trying to avoid you having any issues. So I figured I'd take time and have the little talk with you and try to get you at least to understand a little bit of the operating procedure on the repeater.
Yeah, Peter, did you get that thing I sent you on Messenger?
The stuff with the 06 I'd rather not put out. But we'll just say you don't want to be in that predicament. I don't like talking bad about other machines and other hams. It was a personal thing I observed. A couple other people observed it. We've talked about it off air, but it's something we're not going to discuss on air.
Yes, you don't want to know, and I respect that, because my friend Ralph at 2MPB goes on the 06. He's in Jersey right now, and yeah, like I said, like I've been saying to you, as you know, if I can really type to you on my phone, I really don't want to say my thing if you don't bring out to everybody what I have, my disabilities, and can I send you a voicemail of what I got, and then maybe you can describe,
I'm not sure what you want me to describe. It's just you're making more of this than it really is. Just listen and see what's going on the machine before you jump in and talk. That's pretty much what this is all about. Listen, see what's going on the air before you jump in with anything.
Oh yeah, I understand, Pete, and I don't want to keep asking questions because you're making the problem get like bubbles when you buy them in the thing. You're making those get bigger, So you want to make yourself. People don't want to answer you, so I don't want to make that. You want to make people want to answer me, So I want to make where I love the hobby, and if I do that to everyone, I tell myself that I do that to myself. So I want to be good and do the right thing. Cause I've been doing good. I just got to stop the doubling and all that nonsense.
Well, doubling is inevitable. You're not gonna not double ever. I double plenty. John doubles, Obi doubles. Everybody doubles because everybody's probably counting to three at the same time, and then everybody keys up at the same time. But doubling is going to happen. It happens on every machine, everywhere. You're not going to, you got more than four people that talk on a machine at one time, you're going to get doubles. It happens. The big thing is leaving the space so other people can get into the conversation. We don't care about doubles. We'll live with the doubling. It's something that's never going to stop. But if you leave the space in there for other people to get in there, that's more of the concern that we're trying to address today.
Oh yes, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and like you said, okay, when you open your door, your house door to get in the house, you want to make a room to get in, right? Well, a conversation. You're in the store, somebody's talking about interesting stuff, and you jump in, and they're not talking. You jump in and say, "Oh, I like the conversation." Jump in for a while. Same thing. You want to make room on the radio. You don't want to just key up the mic quick and just figure to talk because that person could be talking and you don't know.
Well, let's do it this way. You're at a party or a function, and you hear two people talking about something, right? Common courtesy would be if you have something to add, you would go, well, excuse me, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I heard you were talking about this. I could add this to the conversation. This is kind of the same way. If you hear two people talking, and let's say you're talking about a radio that you have that you know about, so you could jump in and go comment, wait to be acknowledged, and go, well, I have that radio, and maybe this will help. They'll listen. But if they're talking, if they're talking about the no bark budget, which you have no idea about, then you need to let that conversation go because there's nothing you can add to that conversation unless you're going to tell them, hey, I'll donate $10,000. But other than that, you got to listen to what conversations are going on the machine. There's a lot of times people will talk on the machine and I won't say a word, but I'll be listening because I have nothing to add to the conversation, and me being in the conversation is not going to help anybody with anything. So there's a lot of times when you say you haven't heard me in a couple of days. I'm on the machine. I'm listening. Just because I don't pick up the mic and key up, let me roll it. Because I don't pick up the mic and key up doesn't mean I'm not listening. A lot of the conversations are about things that I can't offer anything to. So I'm not gonna jump into a conversation where I can't offer anything on it. Or if they're making a call and they want to talk to John, if Obi's calling and he wants to talk to John, or Eric wants to talk to John, I'm not going to throw my call out there because they're not calling for me. They're calling for John, and you got to let John take care of it. If they call for me, I'll answer the radio. But if it's a conversation that I can do something, that I can offer something to, I'll get in on it.
Oh yeah, Pete, I understand what you're saying, and it's I think Pops taught me, but you know what? I have a habit of I'm excited to get on the radio. I'm very excited, like you said. I know you're excited. I'm happy to keep the mic. I understand that. When 2 years, I should know, but when you're excited or not, so like I should learn by now. It don't matter if you're excited, but gotta learn by now because in life, nobody else can teach me but myself, and I gotta learn now.
Well, remember, there's a lot of people that have this repeater on scanners, and they're listening all the time to this repeater. Even the powers that be at No Bark, Eric and John, and all those people, just because they're not on the radio does not mean they are not listening to the radio. So you always have to keep in mind that there might be two people talking, there might be 50 people listening. So it's best just to stick with procedures, have fun, talk on the radio, but remember, keep with your procedures so that everybody can share the repeater equally.
Oh yeah, Pete. Yeah, I think I learned by now. Now I know what to do. All right. So now I know how to count on my fingers. Now I got the thing that you should do. So now I stopped doing that, Pete. So now I'm all settled. Now I can do it fine.
Just just like on the digital side, there's 3 or 4 of us that use digital regularly. We've all agreed amongst ourselves not to really talk a lot on digital until later on in the night when the repeater is quiet. So you won't really hear us jump on digital, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We might jump on digital, 10, 11 o'clock at night when the repeater's not so busy. That way we don't really annoy the people with analog that don't want to listen to the digital noise.
Oh yeah, Pete. Am I doing fine now? Am I doing a lot better than I was, or?
Yes, you're doing better. Now just keep this up. Keep the spaces in there and just listen to what's going on the machine before you jump out there and talk. If you don't hear, give it a couple of minutes before you jump on the radio. If you don't hear nothing, throw your call out. See who comes back to you. But half this hobby, more than half this hobby, is listening. Even on HF, you have to listen because things are done certain ways. And if you don't do it a certain way, you'll get told on HF. So a lot of this hobby is listening to see what's going on the machines. So once you learn that and learn to leave your spaces, everybody will be happy campers, and everybody will get along, and we won't have you won't have to worry about anything. So just kind of leave your spaces, listen to what's going on the machines. If it doesn't pertain to you, if there's nothing you can add to it, leave it alone. If there's something you can add to it, just in a space, just go comment. They will acknowledge you. You put your comment out, and then let them talk. So you gotta kind of listen to what's going on the air.
I understand. So, now you think I learned all the way, or do we have to have more talking?
Oh, there's nothing more I can really tell you at this stage. Where you're aware of it. I brought it to your attention. Now it's up to you to take what I said to heart and put it in practice on the machine. KD2 JKV.
Oh. Alright, Pete, well, thanks for telling me, and I thought I was in trouble, but I'm not. So, alright, I'm going to play on the computer, try to start getting ready for the Dutchess County Fair, because we're going to catch some change for Friday. So, nice talking to me, and I appreciate bringing it to my best attention you can. And I thank you for that, Pete. And, me and Pop are sending a QSL card, as I contacted with them. Alright, I'm going to play on the computer for a while, but thank you very much. KD2HAP, clear to you, and final for you.
All right, Charles. Just listen, see what's going on here. If you get in here and talk, and no one's saying you can't talk, but just listen to what's going on before you jump in. Make sure it's nothing important going on. But you're getting better. You're leaving your spaces, so just keep that up. Take everything I said to heart, and just listen and see what's going on, and then you will make a good radio operator. I promise you. KD2HAP, KD2 JKV, clear.
Alright, I'll be back later. I'm not mad at you. I'm just going to play with the video. Thank you very much. KD2HAP.
KD2 JKV, KD2 LCH.
KD2 LCH, KD2 JKV.
Good morning, Peter. Let's just hope that some of that sunk in. I'd really hate to see that kid get in trouble.
You heard the whole thing. I did the best I could do. I put everything on the table, how everything's supposed to run, so that everybody's a happy camper here. I told them doubling is inevitable, but you gotta leave the spaces in because you never know when John needs to jump in here or Eric needs to jump in here or there is there's an emergency. Like I told him, we had a guy that was having a stroke and we need to get him medical help. And we had Phil who needed the police because of an alarm going off and he doesn't have a cell phone, so all he has is the radio. So I did the best I could as pleasantly as I could.
No, from what I heard on it, of course, I'm brand new at this anyways, but I have a little bit of radio etiquette from my prior training and such, and I was actually really hoping somebody else was going to jump in there and kind of confirm with stuff that you were saying. But I guess I decided they'll let you go with it and see if it works with them, being talked to by a friend or something, so to speak. But it is what it is. Hopefully he learns. Like I said, I don't want to see anything happen to the kid, and I'd hate for him to get that letter. So, but oh well.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that John would have jumped in, or Rick would have jumped in, or somebody would have jumped in and said, say, hey, he's right, and this is what you need to do. I mean, it's been brought up before. John's talked about the quick keying and the doubling. Doubling is going to be inevitable. If you got 6 people counting to 3 before they key up, all those 6 people are going to key up at the same time. And like John says, if you get 3 or 4 people on the radio, on the repeater, you try to get a round table and you pass it around, and that will, prevent some of the doubling.
Yeah, it'll help. I mean, it's not going to cure everything, obviously. Nothing's really going to cure everything, but you're right. And John is right that when there's enough people in here, it should go to a roundtable format and go from there. But, again, I'm new. I've got a clue what I'm talking about, but I really don't have any real right to say anything, I guess, just because I'm new. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, I understand quick keying to a point because on the HF, if you don't quick key and you don't get in to make those contacts, you're going to get bumped out of it. But, you don't need to do that on the machines. I do it. I forget sometimes. I'm not perfect. I am human. I kind of quick key sometimes. I admit that, but I try to at least keep down the number of quick keys. And he's trying so hard to be a good operator, and I'm just trying to kind of help him along where he should be taught how to do this because your tech license is a learning stage, and you learn by listening to the older operators and how they run stuff. And that's how I learned from listening to my Elmer and listening to the older operators as they talked on the machines, how to talk on the machine.
Yeah, he definitely needs some help there. I know his grandfather is helping him, maybe to the best of his ability. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he needs a little bit more help than what his grandfather can give him. I don't know. I know I consider myself a patient person, but I don't know. I'm just not having the patience anymore, and it's just how it is. I can try, but I don't know.
KD2LCH, KD2HAP. I'm here, Darren.
KD2HAP, KD2LCH. I'm not upset with you or anything. I just hope that you learn, and some of what Peter was telling you this morning sinks in, and you learn from this and become a better operator. Not It's not that we're trying to be mean or anything else. We just want you to be the best operator that you can be. And following the rules, following the formats, and listening, like he said, that's all key right there. You know, that's the biggest thing.
I know, Darren, I don't want to upset you either, you know, because I feel that we're all getting frustrated. I like the double, that's fine. Okay, you're going to get more than one double in there, that's okay then. But the quick can, okay, like I said about open the door in your house, you need to have them to lock in your house. Same thing. You all need room to have a conversation. And I'm getting frustrated with myself too, and I'm in my own body, and I should do that. But I'm saying in my head right now, boy, I want to be a good operator, and that's what I want to be. But if I have somebody that has to talk to me 30 times, I will. That's going to get annoying. I got to learn on my own one day. So that one day I'm going to have to learn.
Well, you know, like Peter said earlier, it's more than just the quick keying. Okay, that's part of it, yes, and definitely something that has to be worked on. But also, more importantly, is the listening part. You know, like he said, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. Just touching on a couple of things like different nets that come up or whatever. Instead of just jumping in on it, listen to what the net is. Make sure it's not something that you're not supposed to be into. Make sure that you're following the procedures. And like you said, listen to the conversation. You know, last night I think somebody was trying to get a hold of me, but I'm not too sure. I didn't hear who they were calling for because I had the radio turned down a little bit, and I could hear that they were calling for somebody, and I heard you jump in there trying to introduce yourself. And at that point, I just turned my radio off because it kind of bugged me a little bit. I found out a little later on that somebody may have been trying to get a hold of me. So I don't know about if it was that or not. But I will say that I'm going to repeat what Peter said. First, let me roll it. Repeating with what Peter said. You know, if somebody's calling for somebody else on the radio, keep quiet. Don't key up. Let them try because they're looking for someone specific. You know, if they're putting out a general KD2 LCH listening, you know, that means, okay, I'm out. I'm open to talk to anybody. If I go on the air, KD2 JKV from KD2 LCH, that means I strictly want to talk with Peter. And if I don't hear him, I may end up just shutting the radio off too. It's just the way that is. Just pay real close attention to that. That is something that tends to get under people's skin when you just jump in like that. Just try to learn. I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm not trying to yell at you. I'm just explaining to you, or hopefully trying to explain to you, proper etiquette. With that, I'm actually going to pass it over, because we're going to try a roundtable, I'm going to pass it over to Peter, JKV, from KD2LCH.
Yeah, let me give you an example, Charles. John is the Skywarn EOC for Berkshire County. Now, yes, I'm a member of Skywarn, but I'm a member of Skywarn for Albany County. So when John does his bid for Skywarn, it's for Berkshire County. And unless he specifically asks me for something from here, I don't key up during the net unless there's, unless I can offer assistance. I'll ask John, can I offer some assistance? If he says, we got this and all that, then I'll go and leave them to do their thing. Just because I'm a member of Skywarn doesn't mean I'm a member of Skywarn for Berkshire County. So, Albany County doing, Albany County reports into Berkshire County really don't mean much because, we may not get anything here in Albany and they may get slammed there. But if John comes on and says, hey, Peter, what's going on in Albany? Can you give me a report? I'll give him the report. If he's just looking for Berkshire County Skywarn reports, I'll just sit and listen and watch the radar and see what's going on. And if it comes, if he needs I let Berkshire County do their thing. KD2 HAP, KD2 JKV, over to you.
Alright. I'm understanding, I'm just listening here, and I'm not mad or not, I'm just listening. But while I'm listening, I'm trying to like it happening. It's okay. I just don't want to get, like, with Darren said, you don't want to see me get a letter. That wouldn't be nice either. Because I don't want that either. Then, you know, that I can't talk to you, Peter, Darren, and I like talking to guys on here, because they're guys. And then I won't be on the radio that much, and that wouldn't be fair to me.
Well, none of us want to see you get that letter. And is it possible you can get one if you continue being the way, or continue not following the rules? Yeah, I would expect that you probably would end up getting a letter. But as long as you start following the rules and you do what you're supposed to, I don't see any reason why they would send you a letter. And chances are, if they do, they may end up, well, depending on how severe it is. I mean, I would suspect that they would give you like a letter of warning saying, hey, you need to straighten out or you're going to be restricted from the repeater. You know, that would be just as a reminder at that point. I mean, I'm not saying that they are. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that that is something that could possibly happen here. Just pay attention to the rules. Listen to what Peter said. Follow all the protocols and the etiquettes and such, and you should be fine.
Hey, Peter, too, LCH. Darren, do you have a Facebook, by the way? I can send you a friend request, by the way, like on Facebook or no?
And I'm going to go back to the listening thing. I've told you 4 times now. I don't use my Facebook for that much.
Right, back to you. No, I just like asking on it. Peter, too, JKV, back to you.
KD2 HAP, KD2 JKV. Remember, we do not own the repeater. Northern Berkshire Amateur Radio Club owns the repeater. They are kind enough and nice enough to open the repeater so that we all can talk. But they own the machine, and they are the final say on what happens on the machine. They're a bunch of nice guys. I know a few of them. I've never met anybody in person because I can't get to Berkshire County to know Bart. But from who I've talked to and the relationships I have with them, they are a nice, very nice bunch of guys, from John and Eric and Rick and everybody that I know. So remember, they own the machine, so we have to, play nice and be considerate to not only the No Bark members, but also everybody that jumps on this machine, and kind of be considerate to everybody and give everybody a turn to come in here and talk to us. That's how the machines work. That's how things get done on these machines. So, like Darren said, and I've said, it's listening. Listening is a big part of this. KD2 LCH, KD2 JKV, over to you.
Yeah, at this point, I've said pretty much everything that I think needs to be said. At this point, it's just up to Charlie if he can follow in with the rules and listen to them. That way, No Bark doesn't get upset with him. Plain and simple. I mean, Charlie, you're a great kid. You just need to learn the rules and learn to follow a little bit of etiquette, and you'll be okay. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, KD2HAP from KD2LCH.
Oh, I'm a good kid. I mean, I love the hobby a lot, but like you said, just listen. I mean, like Peter has to count on my fingers. Like count on 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and just keep doing that. Keep doing that. And as you can see, if I keep doing it, and if I can do that without counting, that's better. If I have to do it with a count, I don't mind, but that's gonna teach me. So count whatever number I want, and then I'll get better every day.
KD2HAP, KD2JKV. No, we're not trying to put you down. We're not trying to make you feel bad. We're trying to Elmer you. We're trying to teach you. Your tech license is a learning experience. And all through the hobby, from tech to extra, you are learning. There's always something to learn. Not everybody that comes into this hobby knows everything ever about this hobby. In fact, John taught me some things about making antennas, and I've listened to him, and I follow what he tells me. So, even on the other license classes, it's all about learning. And I love to learn from the older hams that have been in this business forever, that know more than I am ever going to know. And I listen to them. And if they say, do it this way, I'll do it that way because they have the experience. So we're just, we are trying to Elmer you and teach you how to kind of have courtesy for everybody on the machine.
JKB, K2HAP. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to send out letters. I'm gonna start listening. I mean, I always listen by just the Dublin and all, but I'm a good kid like Darren said. But K2LCH, K2HAP, back to you, Darren.
And I'm going to echo what Peter just said. We're not trying to gang up on you. We're not trying to be mean. We just want you to learn the best way. And if it means we're Elmering you, then yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. And if enough people, or if you, let me rethink of what I'm thinking. Hang on a second.
While he's thinking, let me put something in here. When I was doing my fox hunt, and I was telling John about it, John said to do it a certain way to find it. And I listened to what John said, and I was able actually to find a couple of the foxes. So that I probably wouldn't have been able to find if I didn't listen to what John says. So John even Elmers me from time to time on certain things that he has more experience in than I do. So we all learn from each other, and we all, work off of each other. And this hobby is, like I said, it's all about learning from tech to extra. Because you get your extra doesn't mean you know everything in the world. You still learn. And John, on various subjects, teaches me a lot, Elmers me on a lot of things that he doesn't even realize he does. But I do listen. So it's all about listening in this hobby. And that's pretty much what we're trying to put over to you. Listen, see what's going on, and then throw yourself in there.
With enough practice, you should be okay. Listening to what everybody says. Listen to Peter. Listen to me. I mean, yeah, I'm brand new. I'm not claiming to know everything. I don't know everything. I'd be a fool if I said I did. Everybody is always learning something, and what I've learned, I'm trying to pass along to you. If John or any of the other No Bark members say something to you, don't sit there and take it that they're trying to be mean. Just listen and try to learn learn from them as well. They've been in this hobby a lot longer than I have, and I would suspect that they've got a lot better advice than what Peter or I could give. But, you know, we're giving you the best advice that we can based on what we know, and other people will, in time, learn, or, well, not necessarily learn, but will start giving you more advice if you listen and pay attention and follow the good advice.
Okay, yeah, Darren, like Papa said, he's with me right now. He's just a good idea about that. And, I also told about, about me cooking it. He goes, yeah, you can't do that. You gotta get broke so people talk. You can't just jump in and while I talk, you know?
I'm not too sure if it's weather conditions or if the batteries are going in your portable or what you're doing, but you started to drop off there real light into the machine. I can barely hear you, but just giving you a little report on that.
Alright then, well, I just want to jump on and say thank you for telling me about that. I like your advice you're giving me. It's not bad. Alright guys, I'll let you carry on your conversation. Keep to HAP clear.
All right, I've pretty much said most everything I need to say on it as well, so I'm gonna be just sitting in here listening. 82 LCH.
I'm just gonna hang here because the net's in 30 minutes. So K82, GAKV, clear.
Q2 JTV. Alright, Peter, well, I gotta run out, so I won't be able to do the net, but thank you, Pete. Q2 HAP.
This is KC2SPH. Am I making an end to this repeater?
KC2SPH, I think it was KD2JKV. You're a little scratchy, a little white noise, but you are making it into the machine.
I'm using it's not too good for reception over here. Is this repeater in Massachusetts? Am I mistaken or not?
Nope, you are correct. This is the Mount Greylock, Massachusetts repeater.
Roger, okay. So, alright. I just want to picture with this little 5-watt unit in the car, I was making it in there. Alright, thanks. 73s, have a good day. This is KC2SPH.
KC2SPH from KD2LCH. 73, sir. You have a great day.
奮闘中我慢と隣り合わせ夢に向かって爆走中不安と隣り合わせ一体どれだけ努力ができてる日々のチェック表はバツバツ丸バツ丸バツバツバツ反省だらけ一人層が高すぎて自分を苦しめて振りほどいて緩めて少しは楽になってそして諦めない気持ち持っていつか証明だからこそ続けることが何よりも宝物今日も雨にも負けず風にも負けず胸張ってさあ一歩進むんだ山あり谷あり日々挑戦掴み取れ満ちたり 100%どんなに遠回りしても無駄なんてないから振り返らず前に進むんだそう簡単には負けやしないぜ君こそミスターに 100%毎日通勤満員電車帰れば一人で食事に選択気づいた頃にはもう1週間早すぎてそろそろ体の電池交換期待できない選手交代でもやるしかない進むしかない心を入れ替えてレッツゴー陽気な曲でも流して歌いながら振りほどいて緩めて少しは楽になってそして信じ続ける気持ち持って誓う証明約束さ君の笑顔が見たいから今日も雨にも負けず風にも負けず胸張ってさあ一歩進むんだ山あり谷あり日々挑戦掴み取れ満ちたり 100%どんなにか怖くてもくじけそうになっても振り返らず前に進むんだそう簡単には負けやしないぜ君こそミスターに 100%エールは君にどんな成功者も心に悩みを抱えて生きているずっと涙こらえていつもありがとう心に刻んで今日も雨にも負けず風にも負けず胸張ってさあ一歩進むんだ山あり谷あり日々挑戦掴み取れにしたに 100% どんなに遠回りしても無駄なんてないから振り返らず前に進むんだそう簡単には負けやしないぜ君こそミスターに 100% 君に から晩まで奮闘中我慢と隣り合わせ夢に向かって爆走中ワンと隣り合わせ一体どれだけ努力ができてる日々のチェック表はバツバツ丸バツ丸バツバツバツ反省だらけ一人層が高すぎて自分を苦しめて振りほどいて緩めて少しは楽になってそして諦めない気持ち持っていつか証明だからこそ続けることが何よりも宝物今日も雨にも負けず風にも負けず胸張ってさ一歩進むんだ山あり谷あり日々挑戦掴み取れ満ちたり 100%どんなに遠回りしても無駄なんてないから振り返らず前に進むんだそう簡単には負けやしないぜ君こそミスターに 100% 動きに毎日通勤満員電車帰れば一人で食事に選択気づいた頃にはもう1週間早すぎてそろそろ体の電池交換期待できないセンス交代でもやるしかない進むしかない心を入れ替えてレッツゴー陽気な曲でも流して歌いながら振りほどいて緩めて少しは楽になってそして信じ続ける気持ち持って誓う証明約束さ君の笑顔が見たいから今日も雨にも負けず風にも負けず胸張ってさ一歩進むんだ山あり谷あり日々挑戦掴み取れ満ちたり 100% どんなに怖くても口消そうになっても振り返らず前に進むんだそう簡単には負けやしないぜ君こそミスターに 100% 君にどんな成功者も心に悩みを抱えて生きているずっと涙こらえていつもありがとう心に刻んで今日も雨にも負けず風にも負けず胸張ってさ一歩進むんだ山あり谷あり日々挑戦掴み取れにしたに 100% どんなに遠回りしても無駄なんてないから振り返らず前に進むんだそう簡単には負けやしないぜ君こそミスターに 100%